Brickfilms. Brickfilms are films made using Lego with the magic of stop-motion animation. It should be noted that whilst computer-generated and live-action films featuring Lego are also usually considered to be brick films, stop-motion is where it all began, like some black obelisk in a distant past that Stanley Kubrick and a troupe of circus monkeys throw rocks at. Brick filming is still a young branch of the stop-motion genre tree. The term brick film itself was only coined in the year 2000, aka Y2K, by Jason Rowles. He is the founder of Brickfilms.com, a main online hub for the hobby. And so today, class, we will be delving into what makes brick films, and indeed brick filming, so magical. We will delve into why brick films have risen in popularity in relatively recent times and continue to be enjoyed by young and old alike, like some game of backgammon, or crocheting, or kicking the can. Brick filming, being at its core a branch of the stop-motion animation family tree, shares much of the same appeal. The hands-on feel of the medium resonates deeply with many people, and those attempting the craft often find great satisfaction in it due to the dedication and patience stop-motion animation takes to produce, like some great sand painting made by Tibetan monks in a temple nestled in the Himalayas, only to be trampled over by Canadian eco-tourists. Nostalgia, dear viewer, is also a reason brick filming is popular, the same way that pixel art and an 8-bit style will almost always appeal to a modern audience. A common trope in brick filming is the use of Lego minifigures as characters. Aside from being easy to customize with a veritable plethora of parts available, the minifigure has firm yet easily movable joints with 7 points of articulation, like my replacement hip. The head, shoulders, wrists, and legs are all movable. This potential limitation is also embraced by animators, who use this to portray a comic style of animation, which Lego, by its nature as a toy, lends itself to. Like cave spelunkers in Plato's Republic, staring up at the shadows of perfect forms, minifigures stare up to men, women, but hopefully mostly children. Brick films are not limited to using minifigures, however. Lego is a very flexible medium, and animators constantly experiment with it to achieve different styles and effects. A well-publicized example of this is Michael Gondry's video for the White Stripes song Fell in Love with a Girl, released in 2002. Michael didn't want to make a narrative video, but rather a collage, because the process was so complex. For it, he filmed the band members performing various activities, from playing their instruments to running up and down flights of stairs, like children anticipating a first day of middle school. I know I did. This footage was then pixelated and built in mosaics frame by frame out of Lego bricks. The band Rimdrage has also made use of similar techniques for their Swedish songs 8-Bit Trip in 2009 and Kalbrand Instrumental in 2011, though those tend to use video game imagery as reference. Lego has used stop-motion animation as a technique to produce its advertisements for many years, with examples dating back to the modern date of 1976. However, the first known brick film to be made by a member of the public, aside from certain films made in a certain professor's basement while his parents weren't watching, whilst not referred to as such at the time, was one called The Magic Portal, made between the years of 1985 and 1989 by Lindsay Fleay. This film was shot on 16mm film, which left no room for error. Any reshoots would be costly as well as inconvenient, like an alimony hearing. Whilst the Magic Portal is indeed considered the grandfather of Brickfilms, it still had its share of difficulties with the Lego company itself. Upon the film's completion in 1989, Lindsay approached Lego to see if they wanted anything to do with it. Whilst initial correspondence was positive, Lego eventually demanded that Lindsay surrender all copies of the film to them inside of 7 days, or else. Luckily, at the beginning of the project, Lindsay obtained permission from Lego Australia to go ahead with the project. Phew! He presented this to Lego and was granted a complete legal backdown, unlike my last divorce hearing. Fast forward 23 years to today, where the internet is soggy with Brickfilms. One has to wonder, what changed? Lindsay says,
I think they embraced the inevitable. I've noticed over the years a lot of firms, especially ones that are based on physical products, for example, old FX model kits, Games Workshop figurines, and once upon a time, Lego itself. They used to all have disclaimers and restrictions on their products' use online that were the size of phone books. A lot of them simply had trouble coping with the transient nature of digital distribution. The fact that you could just copy and paste something forever, I think, terrified them, because they were so used to having physical products that you could, I guess, restrict your customers with. You could keep control over things, that you wouldn't run away and have a life of its own.
So do you think they became more lenient simply because of the inability to police the use of our IP with online distribution of people's films being so easy?
To say that they were forced by the online world, that would imply coercion. I think there was an element of that. Being forced to adapt, that is. But the opportunities and the benefits would have become very quickly apparent to them. They survived video games. That's a pretty impressive achievement for a very expensive plastic toy.
Spencer Katz is an animator who has recently worked with Lego on various Brickfilm projects. When asked what Lego's current attitude towards Brickfilms was, he said, well, they love the Brickfilms there. They all get really excited over them because they're real. They're the actual product, not some CG or representation, end quote. Later, in the year 2000, that far, far future date we all suffered through, Lego released the Lego Studios Steven Spielberg Movie Maker's set, which included its own camera. This shows that Lego, by this stage at least, was fully supportive of the creation of Brickfilms, even though the corporate giant can be sensitive to a Brickfilm being profited from. Lego's ubiquitous popularity makes the bricks a readily available resource, like carrots or canned squash. This, combined with both the increasingly easy-to-obtain cameras and image capture technology, as well as channels through which to distribute Brickfilms, such as YouTube, means more and more people are able and interested in attempting to Brickfilm. Phillip Heiner, an accomplished Brickfilmer and the administrator of BricksInMotion.com, the leading brickfilming forum and community online, tends to agree with this sentiment.
I think a big part of the appeal of Brickfilms is that everybody likes Lego anyway. It's something most people grew up with, and seeing Lego minifigures move runs pretty deep into these people's imaginations. Then once YouTube came around, this really exploded with the ability for a video to spread virally to millions of people in a short period of time. I found that people are definitely a lot more likely to be familiar with Lego movies now than before YouTube.
And so, dear viewer, we can see that brickfilming continues to gain popularity for these key reasons. Reason the first: Lego is an easily accessible and attractive medium for stop-motion animation. Better than clay, better than Play-Doh, better than Clay-Doh, and better than K'NEX. Jeesh! Reason the second: the satisfaction of completing a stop-motion work. Nothing is so satisfying. It's like climbing Mount Everest, reaching that high zenith top, breathing that scant air, and then coming back down to have all of your friends and colleagues tell you that Edmund Hillary had done it first. Damn you, Hillary! Reason the third and the last: the ease of online distribution. Unlike the pyramid schemes that funded my graduate work, the internet is free-ish. Just about anyone can post something on the inner tubes. I know I will when my dial-up connects. It seems evident that brickfilming is not going away anytime soon. Like a malignant case of Lyme's disease, it will linger on, changing in shape and color to the amusement of all. Good night. Yowza!